I was the last one to know that Vanessa had become a mother. When I arrived at the hospital, I saw her instructing the servants, "Don't spread the news about me giving birth, otherwise, Benjamin will definitely come back and cause trouble." I had liked her for 10 years, and a year ago I confessed to her. At that time, she said, "When you finish your studies and come back, I'll be with you." I thought it was utterly ridiculous. This time, unlike before, I didn't make a scene, nor did I question her about why she had lied to me. Instead, I got on a plane and left the country again, agreeing to marry the girl who had recently been pursuing me. From then on, I no longer liked Vanessa. Chapter 1. Vanessa. Blocking the news like this won't help. If Benjamin suddenly comes back, he'll still find out. Inside the hospital room, a young woman was speaking to Vanessa. Vanessa was holding a baby in her arms, her body still somewhat full after giving birth. There was coldness in her eyes. If he comes back, so be it. If he really finds out, I'll explain it to him. Right now, I'm only worried that if he knows too suddenly, he won't be able to accept it and will come back making trouble. After all, you all know how much he used to like me. He caused scenes many times. I froze at the doorway of the hospital room. Yes, I used to like her very much. If there was any man around her, I would immediately drive him away. If she spoke a few more words with another man, I would question her if she didn't like me anymore. That's true. Everyone knows how he behaved. The woman smiled. Then in the next moment her face was touched with worry. Then when you get married, will you also block the news? Vanessa kissed the baby in her arms. We'll see when the time comes. Just as she finished speaking, Jordan came out of the bathroom with a towel. Vanessa, come wash your face. Oh wow. Vanessa, you really are lucky to have such a good fiancé. No wonder you were willing to have a child out of wedlock for him. My heart tightened sharply, almost stopping. Jordan was once my best friend. Before I went abroad, I had asked him to take care of Vanessa for me, but now, he had become Vanessa's fiancé. I never thought that the kind of melodramatic plot I had seen on TV would actually happen to me. Suddenly, I didn't know whether I should go in or not. If I went in, what right would I have to question Vanessa? After all, she and I had never officially been together. A year ago, she had only promised me, "When you finish your studies and come back, I'll be with you." I pulled out my phone and tapped on Vanessa's profile picture. She hadn't contacted me for a long time. The last time she sent me a message on WeChat was a week ago. She had asked me if I had eaten, and I replied that I had, even sharing with her something amusing from abroad. It was a stray kitten I had seen by the roadside, but she never replied. I sent her a message, "Vanessa, what are you doing?" Just after I sent it, Vanessa's phone rang inside the hospital room. She picked it up, glanced at it, but didn't reply. Instead, she simply turned off the phone. Her friend sitting beside her saw the message and smiled. "Why didn't you reply?" Vanessa held Jordan's hand, gently stroking it, her voice indifferent. "There's nothing worth replying to. I've always hated him. If it weren't for the fact that he's my father's adopted son, I wouldn't have pretended with him. The only person I've ever liked is Jordan." Chapter 2. I don't even know how I managed to walk out of the hospital. I only remember stumbling and staggering, bumping into several people along the way. When I reached the entrance, I ran into another one of Vanessa's friends. She was holding a bouquet of flowers, and when she saw me, surprise flashed in her eyes. "Benjamin, when did you come back to the country? What are you doing here?" Her two questions made me recall what had happened not long ago. I had just finished a year of studying abroad, so I returned home. After getting off the plane, I wasn't feeling very well, so I came to the hospital. I never expected such a coincidence, that I would just happen to pass by the ward where Vanessa was staying. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what to say, so I simply ran away. It wasn't until I got into a cab that I realized a cruel fact. The person I loved no longer belonged to me. She had deceived me, and my best friend had deceived me too. I couldn't understand why. Just then, Vanessa called. "Benjamin, have you come back?" Her voice was as gentle as always. If it weren't for the fact that I had come back this time and witnessed everything with my own eyes, I might still be kept in the dark by her. "Yes, I'm back," I replied softly. "Why didn't you tell me in advance? I could have come to pick you up." "My friend just said she ran into you at the hospital. What were you doing there?" "Seeing a doctor." For some reason, I still didn't want to expose her. Maybe deep down, I still had a trace of expectation, hoping she would tell me everything herself. "Then let me come find you." I just happened to be near the hospital. Not long after, Vanessa's car stopped steadily in front of me. She had already changed out of her hospital gown and even put on makeup. When she got out of the car and noticed me observing her, she quickly smiled and said, "It's been a whole year since we last met. You still look as handsome as before, but I've gained weight. Benjamin, you won't dislike me, will you?" I didn't rush to respond, because I had noticed the tattoo on her collarbone. J1997308. It was Jordan's initial, followed by his birth date. A chill swept over me. A year ago, Vanessa herself had made that promise to me. She had acted like she really liked me, even taking me into her room and kissing my cheek. She had smiled and said, "Benjamin, we grew up together. You should know how I feel about you. Don't worry, I'll wait for you to come back." But now, she had deceived me. No, I won't. When she heard my reply, she let out a sigh of relief. That's good. Let me take you out for dinner first, to welcome you back. Chapter 3. After getting in the car, I noticed a man's shirt in the back seat, along with a baby's bottle. That was left behind when my friend and her husband came to visit me last time. Vanessa explained hastily. I remembered what she had just said in the hospital room. I couldn't understand. Why would she say she liked me, yet at the same time be with someone else and even have a child? I didn't say a word, just kept staring out the window. All the way, she kept talking to me, mostly asking how I had been this past year. I barely listened, because I didn't want to hear that. I only wanted to hear her tell me everything herself. Because of my cold, I reached for some tissues to blow my nose. When I opened the car's storage compartment, I saw a box of finely packaged tissues inside. Just as I was about to take one, Vanessa stopped me. Use the ones in that bag instead. These ones are scented. I remember you liked using scented tissues. I froze. I never liked using scented ones, because every time I used them, I would sneeze. She had even seen me sneeze before and said to me, I'll remember from now on that you can't use scented tissues. I pulled my hand back and stared intently at that beautifully packaged box of tissues. Suddenly, I remembered seeing them online before. They were quite expensive and made especially for babies, so she couldn't bear to let me use them. I found it laughable. I don't like scented tissues. What? Didn't you used to like them? Vanessa still hadn't realized something was wrong. I didn't want to say another word, so I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep. When we got to the restaurant, Vanessa ordered 3 dishes. Eat more. You just got back. You must be exhausted. I looked at the dishes on the table, unable to start, because every dish had celery in it. I had never liked celery. She had clearly remembered before, I never ate celery, and she would always pick it out for me. But now, she didn't notice how I looked. She just kept eating and talking on her own. By the way, why did you come back now? Didn't you still have time left before graduating? She had forgotten everything. She had forgotten what I didn't like to eat, forgotten that I couldn't use scented tissues, and now, she had also forgotten the promise she once made to me. I picked up a piece of beef with celery and forced myself to eat it. I graduated. Before I could finish speaking, her phone rang loudly on the table. On the screen, the name flashing was, husband. Panic flickered in her eyes. She quickly grabbed the phone, lowered the volume, and answered. I didn't know what the person on the other end said, but she replied, I'll be right back. After hanging up, she looked at me and said, my friend has a problem. I need to go over. Benjamin, could you eat on your own first? Tomorrow I'll hold a proper welcome dinner for you. Before I could respond, she had already picked up her bag and left. Watching her leave, it felt as though my heart had been stabbed with a sharp sword. For the past year, I had counted down every single day, eagerly waiting to return home and be with her. But now, everything was gone. Her promise to me had dissolved like foam. Chapter 4. I was adopted by the Su family when I was 10 years old, because my father and Mr. Su were good friends, and when my father was diagnosed with cancer, he entrusted me to Mr. Su. When I first arrived at the Su family, everyone except Mr. Su treated me poorly. Since I was adopted, the maids and even Mrs. Su felt they didn't need to respect me. I could only live cautiously in the Su household. At every meal, I didn't dare to eat too much. At school, I had no pocket money and didn't dare to ask for any. I remember once, when I hadn't eaten all day, I secretly went to the kitchen at midnight to find something to eat. The maid caught me and scolded me harshly. That was when Vanessa Su suddenly came home and stood up for me. She said, who gave you the courage to treat the young master like this? That was the first time I saw her. Later, I learned that she was the eldest daughter of the Su family. She was 6 years older than me and already in high school. After that, she would come home every day with her around. No one dared to bully me. She always said, Benjamin, I'll protect you. And then, on the day I became an adult, she stumbled drunkenly into my room. She kissed me on her own. She said she wanted to be my wife. From then on, I always kept in mind that I would marry her. Just as I was thinking of this, I received a message from Jordan on WeChat. Have you come back yet? Just so you know, Vanessa and I already have a child. We're getting married next month. Normally, he still pretended, saying he was taking good care of Vanessa for me. But in this moment, he didn't bother to act anymore. Chapter 5. If this had been before, I would definitely have gone to make a scene with Vanessa, because in my heart, I had always remembered what she told me on the day I became an adult. I believed she liked me. Every time I caused trouble afterward, she would Northwest longer get close to the men around her. But this time, I didn't want to make a scene, because I just felt so tired. I turned off my phone and found a hotel to stay in. Then I sent a message to a talent scout who had contacted me before. I told him I was willing to become a singer. Back when I was abroad, he had noticed me and kept inviting me to join his company. He said I had great talent for singing and would definitely become popular. But I had always been preoccupied with Vanessa, so I turned him down. He quickly replied, you finally came around. So when will you be back? I thought about it. This time I had returned very suddenly. Originally, I wanted to give Vanessa a surprise, but instead, She had given me such a huge one first. I had even planned to visit Mr. Su today, but now I didn't feel like it anymore. After all, he had raised me for so many years. I still decided to go see him. So I told the scout I would return in 3 days. The next day, I prepared to go back to the Su family, but Vanessa contacted me first. She said she was hosting a welcome dinner for me at the clubhouse and would come pick me up right away. Originally, I wanted to just tear everything open and refuse to go, but then I thought, if Mr. Su found out that way, it wouldn't be good. Before leaving, I still wanted to avoid causing trouble as much as possible, so I gave her my address. Soon, she came to pick me up and drove me to the clubhouse, but she didn't go in with me. Instead, she said, "You go in first. I still need to pick someone up." Chapter 6. After entering the private room, the originally noisy voices instantly quieted down, and everyone looked at me in surprise. Someone whispered, "Why did he come? Didn't Vanessa say that today is supposedly his welcome party?" But in reality, it's to celebrate her having a baby. Although their voices were very low, I've always had good hearing, so I heard it clearly. "Benjamin, come sit here." One of my friends suddenly greeted me. He, Jordan, and I were classmates, and we used to be quite close. Now it seems obvious that he also knew about Jordan and Vanessa. Yet over the past year, despite staying in touch with me, he never once told me. I forced down my emotions and went over to sit. Before long, Vanessa arrived, with Jordan following behind her. As soon as they appeared, the atmosphere became lively again. Some gave gifts, some offered flowers. Vanessa quickly said, "Stop giving them to me. You should be giving them to Benjamin. He's the real main character today." The moment she said that, I noticed Jordan glaring at me viciously. Everyone had been keeping things from me, treating me like a fool. Clearly, they all used to be so close to me, and even said that Vanessa and I would surely end up together. The emotions in my chest surged, and I stood up and went straight to the restroom. I splashed cold water on my face, and just as I raised my head, I saw Jordan in the mirror. "You saw the message I sent you yesterday, right? Benjamin, Vanessa doesn't love you anymore. Let her go. For the sake of the friendship we used to have, can't you just let me have her?" I had just wanted to respond to him when he suddenly pulled out a dagger and viciously slashed his own wrist. Blood gushed out at once. He threw the knife to the ground and looked at me with a face full of grievance. "Benjamin, Vanessa and I truly love each other. Please don't hurt me." Just as he finished speaking, Vanessa walked over. Chapter 7. Benjamin, are you crazy? Vanessa rushed over, shoving me hard and helping Jordan up. "I'm sorry, Vanessa. It's my fault. Just now Benjamin asked me if I was with you, and I couldn't hold back, so I admitted it. That's why he had an emotional breakdown." Jordan's pale face spoke weakly. As soon as Vanessa heard that, her anger erupted. "Benjamin, how can you be so vicious?" "Yes, I'm with Jordan. So what? What business is it of yours?" I stared in disbelief at the two people before me. One was my once best friend. Before I went abroad, he said to me, "Benjamin, don't worry, I'll take good care of Vanessa for you." And one was the woman I once loved the most. Before I went abroad, she said to me, "When you finish your studies and come back, I'll be with you." But they both betrayed me. I now even doubt that. Before I left, they had already planned to be together. But why? Why did they have to deceive me? If they truly loved each other, couldn't they have just told me earlier? Why did they have to hurt me? "Benjamin, I've put up with your tantrums before, but this time you actually hurt Jordan. Apologize now." I didn't cut him. I looked at Vanessa. She never used to treat me like this. Now, for Jordan's sake, she lashed out at me and no longer trusted me. "What are you still denying? I saw it with my own eyes." She screamed at me. "Vanessa, forget it. I'm fine. Let's just go to the hospital." Jordan's weak voice broke in. "No, he must apologize to you. I've had enough of pretending this whole year. Let's just tear the mask off now." Watching the two of them echo each other, I found it laughable. The two people I once trusted so much had both changed. "Fine, I'll apologize." "Jordan, I'm sorry." "Kneel down and apologize to Jordan. He's my fiancé now, and I won't let him be wronged." Vanessa's words shattered my heart completely. I gave a cold laugh, turned around, and left. Someone once told me, promises are the most useless words in this world. Only actions matter. I didn't believe it then, but now, I do. I took a cab to the Su family home, intending to visit Mr. Su one last time before leaving. On the way, I got a video call from Vicky. "Benjamin, look, the tulips by the road are so beautiful. England is so nice. Are you really not coming back?" She was my classmate. During the year I spent in England as an exchange student, she had been pursuing me relentlessly. I heard she grew up in England, so her mindset was more open. Every time she pursued me, it was like a proposal. She always said, my mom taught me, if you love someone, you have to be bold and fight for it right away, or else someone else will take them. "I'll come back. In 3 days, I'll be back." At those words, her eyes lit up. Chapter 8. When I arrived at the Su household, the maids were wrapping wedding candies. The house was decorated everywhere with the red character for double happiness. "Young master, you're back." one of the maids exclaimed in surprise. Mr. Su was also astonished. He pulled me aside and asked why I had returned. I told him it was just a temporary visit to see him, and I would be leaving again in 2 days. Why not stay a little longer? Your sister is getting married. Mr. Su looked at me with a beaming smile. He didn't know that I had feelings for Vanessa. No need. My studies are still quite busy. All right then. He sighed. Oh, by the way, your sister gave birth 3 days ago. It's a daughter. I wanted to tell you earlier, but your sister said you were too busy with school and she didn't want to disturb you. He didn't know that Vanessa had deliberately kept it from me, afraid that I might go and cause trouble. I forced a smile. Then please pass on my words to Sister Vanessa. Tell her to take good care of herself after giving birth. Of course. Of course. Mr. Su's grin nearly split his face. And your sister's husband, he's your best friend. I must say, there's a reason you two became friends. He's honest, hardworking, just like you, and he treats your sister very well. The day your sister gave birth, he cried like a child. That's why your sister is so deeply in love with him. She immediately told me she wanted to marry him. Hearing those words was like knives stabbing into my chest, but somehow, it didn't hurt as much anymore. I had loved Vanessa for 10 years. To let her go had taken me less than 10 days. Just as I was about to reply, Vanessa and Jordan suddenly came home. Jordan's arm wound was already bandaged, and he was carrying the baby. Vanessa glanced at me coldly. Without a word, she pulled Jordan into their room. Why won't she even greet you? Wasn't she the closest to you before? Hearing Mr. Su's words, I thought back to the past. Vanessa and I had always been close. She would sneak me out at midnight for late-night snacks, spend her allowance to buy me a phone. She even gave me a car the year I was admitted to university. At the time she said, "Benjamin, I don't want anyone to look down on you, so I'll make sure you have everything." Everything she did for me had clearly shown how much she loved me. So I couldn't understand, was 1 year apart enough to make her stop loving me? Or was it that she had never loved me at all? Seeing me stay silent, Mr. Su stepped in to ease the atmosphere and said he would take me to see Vanessa's baby. Chapter 9. When I walked into the room, Jordan and Vanessa were smiling as they soothed the baby. The moment Vanessa saw Mr. Su and me, her smile vanished. Jordan greeted Mr. Su politely. "Benjamin, look, this is your sister's daughter. Isn't she adorable?" I followed Mr. Su over and glanced inside. The baby lay in the crib, fair-skinned with big eyes, indeed very cute. I remembered how Vanessa once told me, "Benjamin, I really like daughters. If I end up with you in the future, I definitely want to have a daughter." But now, she had a daughter with someone else. Sensing Vanessa's gaze on me, I forced a smile and asked her, "Vanessa, what's the baby's name?" "Joy Fu." Jordan answered before she could. Vanessa said she hopes her daughter will always live happily, so she chose this name. I froze, because long ago, Vanessa had told me, "Our daughter will be called Joy Lu. It will mean she will always live happily." Suddenly, it all felt painfully ironic. Not wanting to stay any longer, I excused myself, saying I felt unwell, and turned to leave. I went into the garden to clear my mind. I used to come here whenever I was unhappy. Back then, Vanessa would always accompany me, talking with me, playing Ludo with me. Lost in thought, I didn't notice when Vanessa appeared at my side. "What's wrong with you?" I found it laughable that she even had the nerve to ask me that. She knew perfectly well. "Vanessa, have you forgotten the promises you once made to me?" I looked into her eyes. Once, I loved her deeply, but now my heart felt as still as water. Her brows furrowed slightly, her tone cold. "Those were just jokes. You and I are too far apart in age. We're not suitable for each other." Her words struck me as contradictory. If the age gap between her and me was too big, then wasn't the age gap between her and Jordan just as big? Jordan may be younger, but he's mature and responsible. So, Benjamin, stop thinking about me. I don't like you. As your sister, I sincerely hope we can still get along in the future. I hadn't expected her to use the word sister in front of me. Once, she had told me, "Benjamin, don't call me sister. I want to be your wife one day." She held out a card. "Take this, you know what I mean. Let's part ways peacefully." The sight of that card stabbed my eyes like a blade. A cool breeze brushed against me. I let out a bitter laugh and accepted it. "Fine, I won't come back again." I turned to leave, but she called after me, "If you have time, you could at least stay for my wedding before leaving." "No need. I don't have time." I walked away. As I got into the car, I took one last look at the house. Vanessa and I had lived here together for more than 10 years. We used to love eating fried chicken and playing video games together in the room. Now, in that very room, she was smiling with Jordan while they soothed their baby. Love is a false proposition. Perhaps only with the right person can one ever find its true answer. Chapter 10. I rescheduled my flight for tomorrow afternoon. In this city, I didn't want to stay another minute. The next day, as I was preparing to leave, I realized my safety amulet was missing. It had been a gift from my father, and it meant a lot to me. I guessed I must have dropped it at the clubhouse, so I went back there. I was about to check the private room from yesterday, but before I even pushed the door open, I heard Vanessa's voice. "You all know how much Benjamin likes me. On the wedding day, He'll definitely cause trouble. I need to think of a way to stop him. But Vanessa. Yesterday I saw Benjamin's WeChat post. He said he'll never come back again. Yes, I had posted that. I wrote that I would never return. Vanessa sneered. That was just for me to see. Trying to make me go coax him. I won't. He's just throwing a childish tantrum. It seemed that in her eyes, I would always just be a child. Perhaps we really weren't meant for each other. I didn't want to see her, so I didn't go in to search for the amulet. Instead, I messaged another friend, asking him to help me find it later. Once on the plane, I wasn't sad anymore. I had finally let go of Vanessa. I would never love her again. When I landed, Vicky was there to pick me up. She ran over and gave me a big hug. It's so great, you're back again. Let's go eat. I just got my driver's license. I can drive you. She was a strong and cheerful girl. Before this, I had always avoided her, rejected her, but she kept pursuing me. I truly admired her for that. Once we got in the car, she immediately started chatting away, in the glove compartment. I bought tissues just for you, they're unscented. When she took me to dinner, she even told the waiter in advance not to add celery to any of the dishes. I was shocked. I hadn't expected her to know I disliked celery and scented tissues. She noticed me staring at her and laughed. Why are you looking at me like that? It's nothing. You look like you're thinking, are you realizing that I'm actually pretty and suitable for marriage with you? Yeah. Hearing that, she jumped up from her chair, eyes wide. You said what? I said yeah. You're willing to marry me? Yes. Oh my God, I'm not dreaming, am I? She rushed into my arms, hugging me tightly. Before, I was too obsessed with the idea of love. I believed only by loving someone deeply could you be with them. But now I realize, being a good match is what matters most. Vicky makes me happy. And like me, she loves singing. That's what makes us suitable. Chapter 11. Vicky and I quickly got engaged and set a wedding date. I even went with her to buy rings and choose her wedding dress. She was so happy, and she took pictures and sent them to someone. This is my cousin. We're very close. I told her I finally got the one I love, Benjamin. We'll be happy together from now on, right? I ruffled her hair. Of course we will. After all that, I went to find the talent scout from before and joined their company. Since I had a musical background, I quickly released my first original song. Vicky even reposted it on Weibo, proudly telling everyone that it was her husband's song. On Vanessa's wedding day, I didn't go back. Mr. Su called, asking me to come, but I told him I was also getting married and was very busy. He was shocked and asked who the girl was. I didn't tell him, only said that he could come to my wedding. Right after hanging up, I got another call from my friend, the one I had asked to help me find the safety amulet. The amulet is with Vanessa. Today I tried to get it for you, but she said you have to come get it yourself. Hearing that, I felt Vanessa was being inexplicably unreasonable. She had been the one who gave me the card, telling me never to return again. Why was she now insisting I come back for the amulet? Is she there now? Put her on the phone. Soon, I heard Vanessa's voice on the other end. Today is my wedding, and you're really not coming. I've already left. I won't ever come back. I spoke softly. As for the amulet, please hand it over to my friend, or just mail it to me. She paused, then replied, it's something so valuable. If it gets lost, that would be a big problem. I'll feel better if you come get it yourself. Vanessa, you were the one who told me never to come back. I reminded her, and the amulet is mine. Even if it's lost, that's my own business. So please just give it to my friend. There was sudden silence on the line, until I heard Jordan calling her to enter the wedding ceremony. Only then did she speak again. You have to come take it yourself. Then she hung up. I had no choice but to tell my friend to go home. I truly couldn't understand, why did Vanessa insist I personally return for the amulet? Chapter 12. After that, Vicky and I were busy with our wedding preparations. I didn't pay much attention to things back home. About a month later, I got a call from one of Vanessa's friends, Benjamin. Tomorrow Vanessa is holding a 1-month banquet for the baby. Do you want to come back to see her? I didn't know why she was asking me, since she clearly knew Vanessa and I had already fallen out. I'm not going back. I was about to hang up when suddenly Vanessa's voice came through the phone. Benjamin, have you been busy lately? You won't even come to your niece's 1-month celebration. Vanessa, you're really contradictory. You told me never to come back. I promised you I wouldn't. Now you're asking why I'm not attending, and you're still holding onto my amulet. What exactly are you thinking? Vanessa stayed silent, didn't answer my question, and directly hung up. I blocked that number too. I didn't want to have any more contact with them. Later, I went to the company. Since my recent song had become popular and earned me a lot of money, my boss talked with me about future plans. He also said that one of my fans had been silently donating large sums of money to support my music. I didn't know who it was, but I was truly grateful. Then I went home, where Vicky had already prepared dinner for me. Smiling, she said, come eat. Oh, in a couple of days my cousin is coming to visit me. When she does, let's eat out. I nodded and didn't ask further, but when her cousin arrived, I never expected it to be Vanessa. Chapter 13. The moment she saw me, Vanessa froze. I froze too. After a few months, she had gained some weight, probably because she hadn't yet recovered from giving birth. Vanessa, this is the boyfriend I told you about. His name is Benjamin, and I'm about to marry him. Vicky held my arm as she introduced me. With a loud thud, Vanessa's bag slipped to the floor. When did you two meet? Vicky hadn't noticed anything strange yet and smiled. Benjamin and I are classmates. You don't know how hard he was to chase. For a whole year he never agreed, because he said he already liked someone. But luckily, I never gave up, and in the end, he agreed to marry me. Vanessa stared hard at me, but said nothing more. Throughout the entire meal, she stayed silent. Vicky kept putting food into my bowl. In one dish, the waiter had added celery. She immediately frowned. Waiter, I said no celery. My boyfriend doesn't like celery. Hearing that, Vanessa suddenly looked up at me. Didn't you always eat it before? I ignored her, only turning to Vicky. Baby, how did you know I don't like celery? Because every time you ate at school, you reminded the staff not to add it. That's how I knew. In truth, Vanessa had known I disliked celery. She had just forgotten. Vanessa fell silent again. I didn't know what she was thinking. Chapter 14. That night, Vicky brought Vanessa to our home. She let her stay in the guest bedroom. Vicky kept chatting to her about our upcoming wedding. Vanessa's expression looked unpleasant. She only said she wanted to rest and went into the room. Only then did I have the chance to ask Vicky, how come Vanessa is your cousin? She always has been. I just grew up abroad, so I never went back much. Then, you also know about me and her. Of course I know. She grinned brightly. Why else do you think I invited her here? I wanted her to see with her own eyes that you're with me now, to make her regret leaving you. Benjamin, you're very important to me. I won't let anyone look down on you. Aren't you afraid something might happen between me and her? I'm not afraid. I like you, and I know your personality. Her words warmed my heart, and I hugged her tightly. The next morning, Vicky went out to buy breakfast. Vanessa came into my room. You're doing this on purpose to get back at me, aren't you? She sneered. Benjamin, stop with these little tricks. I won't ever like you again. I don't understand what you're talking about. I looked at her, thinking she was being ridiculous. Benjamin, you didn't show up at my wedding, or at my baby's 1-month celebration. Now you let me find out you're getting married. Isn't it all just to spite me? Well, clever of you. At least now you've learned to try different methods. She laughed while speaking. But your tricks won't work on me. I suddenly laughed too. Vanessa, did you take the wrong medicine? Vicky and I truly love each other. Before this, I didn't even know you two were cousins. Her face instantly darkened. Benjamin, didn't you used to love me so much? You said it yourself. That was before. I don't love you anymore. By the way, since you're here, give me back my amulet. Her expression stiffened. She pulled it from her bag and tossed it at me. Fine. If you don't love me anymore, then I don't have to worry about you bothering me. Just as she finished, Vicky returned. Right in front of Vanessa. I handed the amulet to Vicky. My dad once said, when you meet the person you love most, you give this to her. That way, both of you will live safely and peacefully. I had once planned to give it to Vanessa. Luckily, I realized in time that she wasn't worth it. Vicky happily accepted it, while Vanessa's face turned icy cold. She stood up and left immediately. Chapter 15. I thought Vanessa would just leave, but unexpectedly, she came to my company to find me. The first thing she said was, I'm your fan. I've given a lot of money to support your songs. I never imagined it would be her, but why would she tip me? Well then, thank you, Vanessa. My words darkened her face. She hesitated for a few seconds before speaking again. Jordan and I are preparing to divorce. He despises me for losing my figure, but I thought, if it were you, you would never dislike me. I looked at her in astonishment. So why are you telling me this? She bit her lip and lowered her head. I just wanted to say, you have a chance now. You don't need to stay mad at me. Break up with Vicky. I'll fulfill the promise I made you before. Let's be together. Hearing this, I wasn't only surprised, I found it laughable. Did she think I was a trash bin? That she could throw me away whenever, and then come back to pick me up? Vanessa, are you joking? I said with a laugh. Vicky and I truly love each other. We're about to get married. I don't like you. To me, you're just my sister. Her face grew paler and paler. Her fists clenched tightly. Benjamin, stop pretending. You clearly like me. I did like you in the past, but I don't anymore. Vanessa, I sincerely hope you can live well with Jordan. Go back. He's a good man. After saying that, I pushed her out the door. I had loved her for 10 years. Back then, I truly wanted to give her a home and make her my wife. Now, I truly want to stay far away from her. Chapter 16. On the day Vicky and I got married, I sang a newly written song called Eternal Love. It symbolized that the love between us would be everlasting, that she and I would never part. Smiling, she looked at me. Benjamin, I'm willing to marry you, to accompany you for a lifetime, never leaving you, never giving up. I bent down and kissed her lips. The hall erupted in applause. When I let go of Vicky, I saw Mr. Sue and Vanessa in the audience. Her eyes were red, tears streaming down her face. I smiled and picked up the microphone. Today, my dearest sister has also come to attend my wedding. I'm very happy. Here, I bless her and her husband with everlasting happiness. At those words, She cried even harder, but I held Vicky's hand tightly and whispered to her, "Wife, I love you." At that moment, I finally felt I was truly happy. Extra Chapter 1. I couldn't believe Benjamin actually married Vicky. He used to like me so much. He once confessed to me in the pouring rain. He said, "Vanessa, I like you. Will you be with me?" Back then, when I looked at his young face, I felt I couldn't be with him. He was my younger brother. After all, later, when he turned 18, I drank too much. My mind was filled with him. I could no longer control my love for him. I went to him and kissed him first. I told him I loved him, but the next day, I regretted it. If others found out I was with my father's adopted son, they would laugh at me. Yet I couldn't bear to reject Benjamin, so I deliberately told him that once he graduated from college, I would be with him. In his last year of college, I arranged for his teacher to tell him he needed to go abroad as an exchange student. I thought that if I didn't see him anymore, I wouldn't love him anymore. After he left, I got together with Jordan. Jordan was more steady, good to me, and seemed more suitable. I hadn't planned on having his child, but one night when I got drunk, I ended up sleeping with him. I never expected to get pregnant from just once. Part 2. I left the wedding in a daze, breaking down in tears in the bathroom. I slapped myself over and over. I hated myself, hated my weakness, hated that I didn't dare to be with Benjamin. And because of that, now he was married to someone else. He would never belong to me again. Back then, I knew Jordan had hurt himself. I had deliberately lashed out at Benjamin. I wanted him to leave and stop bothering me, but when he really was about to leave, I regretted it. I didn't want him to go, but I also didn't want to break up with Jordan. After all, we'd been together so long, and we had a child. Only after Benjamin truly left did I realize I never actually liked Jordan. The one I liked had always been Benjamin. I deliberately refused to give him back his amulet, deliberately wanted him to come get it himself. I deliberately had my friend call him about the baby's 1-month banquet. I thought he would act the same as before, come to me and cause a scene. Say, "You can't be with anyone else. You're mine. Vanessa, didn't you say you loved me?" But he didn't. He only said he was too busy to come back. When I came to England and saw that he and Vicky were getting married, I kept comforting myself, saying he must be doing it to spite me. But he wasn't. He wasn't. Part 3. I went to find Benjamin again and told him all of my thoughts. After listening, he showed no expression. He only said calmly, "It's all in the past." Yes, it was all in the past. There was no going back. It was all destroyed by my own doing. I returned to my country and divorced Jordan. He took half my property, completely revealing his true colors. He admitted he had always been after my money and never cared about the child. I broke down completely and cried on the spot. I regretted it so much. I regretted not daring to love Benjamin boldly, and because of that, I had completely lost him. To distract myself, I chased thrilling, extreme sports. I went bungee jumping, but the rope malfunctioned, and I crashed hard. For the rest of my life, I could only sit in a wheelchair. This must be my retribution, because those who betray true love will always face retribution.